Managing offshore IT staffing does not require superb managerial skills. Several US and Europe-based IT companies are opting for outsourcing to increase productivity. Offshore IT staffing has several benefits. When you outsource your web development projects to Indian web development companies and use their expert web developers as a part of your team, you get top-quality services at a much cheaper rate. However, some companies complained that when they outsourced their projects to an overseas company, the projects ended in a disaster. Offshore staffs need to be handled professionally, and you should choose your offshore service provider carefully. There are hundreds of web development companies in India that offer budget-friendly offshore staffing services, but not all of them are reliable. Apart from selecting a trustworthy IT service provider, you should also manage your offshore team vigilantly. Otherwise, you will never get satisfactory results. Here are some of the things you should do to manage your offshore team properly. Assign a project manager in your office. You may have different project managers for different projects, but when you are maintaining an offshore team, you need to give complete responsibility of all the projects to one project manager. He will communicate with your offshore IT team and distribute the work among them. Assign a process manager. The process manager is not involved in the project directly, but keeps an eye on the whole process. He checks the communication and project development process. Basically, he talks to the offshore project manager every week and get a progress report from him. The managers must report to you. If you run a big company, then you may not have the time to keep an eye on your offshore team and let the managers take all the necessary actions. However, this can lead to huge disappointment. For instance, if you have hired a team of web developers to develop 5 websites and your project/process manager takes all the design decision, you may not get the perfect result. Your offshore IT staffs may get wrong information from your managers and may not add all the necessary features in those 5 websites. Therefore, make sure that your managers report to you directly and give you the project status update regularly. Tell your managers what you need and they will relay the information to your offshore team. Create an environment of trust. If web developers at your company start thinking that the overseas IT team is going to take their job away, you may face strikes and protests from your regular employees. They will never cooperate with their fellow developers and try to sabotage the outsourced projects. Therefore, you should communicate with all of your employees regularly and help them to get familiar with each other. Encourage honest feedback. You are the boss, but always remember that you can also be wrong. Some of your offshore developers may have better web development ideas than you. During the projects, get feedback from your offshore team every week. You can also send your feedback to them. If a developer worked exceptionally well, praise him, and if someone made mistakes, tell him politely that he needs to rectify his mistakes. When you follow these 5 guidelines, you can create a strong and lasting working relation with your offshore web development team and they become an indispensable part of your organization.